with that in mind, I want to invite up a name that you probably already know, Nick Sinai. He's going to come up and we're going to chat a little bit. And Nick is sort of the representative, if you will, for Cylance tonight. He does not work there. He is actually with the investment firm. Is that microphone not working? We can work with this one mic. The reason you may know Nick's name, Nick was, here, you can get a little closer. I'm okay. The reason you may know Nick is he was Deputy Chief Technology Officer for the Lighthouse. His name is attached to a lot of major initiatives relative to data. The Open Data Initiative, the Open Government Initiative, was a co-author of Big Data report in 2014. So he has a very unique perspective. And now he is an investor. He's an investor with Cylance and one of our sponsors. So he has a truly unique perspective, both from an employee of government, a tech employee, and also he's an investor. And he's at the Harvard's Kennedy School of Government, where he's on the adjunct faculty there. So Nick, we're going to take a few minutes and chat a little bit about your perspective on AI in government. And of course, also we'll touch on Cylance too. So what is your general impression of AI? Should I be worried that it's going to put me out of a job?
No, and thank you for having me, Stephen, and thank you all for coming out tonight. I think we sometimes get confused, maybe not this room, but a lot of folks get confused about AI, and we have this kind of Hollywood conception of killer robots and the singularity and what people call generalized AI, right? And today where we are is specialized artificial intelligence and machine learning. And that's the kind of thing that helps you pick out images better, faster on Facebook, for example, or helps tag your friends and family. And so that's where we are, and there's a bunch of really interesting applications that are going on today. I mean, I'll just give a couple. So at Walter Reed, with, I think it's the VA, they've basically figured out, looking at a bunch of electronic health records and other biomarkers and those types of things to see when we should close the wounds of combat veterans. And so they've created a decision support tool. So that's one small example where we're using AI today. And look, we're investors in a number of companies, and AI is used in cybersecurity, in online fraud, in a number of different applications.
You have, as I said, a perspective as a government technologist and also as someone that is associated with a company that sells to government. There seems, as an observer of the government technology market, there seems to be some sort of a paradox. Government wants to instill innovation. Companies are eager to show them how they can be innovative. And yet there seems to be some challenges to make that connection. Did you find that when you were with government, that you wanted to do something, but sometimes it was just a little bit more difficult than what you wanted?
Yeah, I think that you have a newfound appreciation for the constraints in government, right? And so the longer you spend in government, the more you kind of see these constraints. And these are obstacles that you have to be a policy or program or product entrepreneur inside of government. And so I was very fortunate to work for Anish Chopra, Todd Park, and Megan Smith, all great entrepreneurs in their own right, and three very different folks. We spent a lot of time collaborating with startups and scale-ups and trying to find ways for them to use data. So I led the open data initiatives, and the idea was this is a public good, and the more that we can make this available to the world. And so we did data jams and data paloozas and had that whole cadence, and sometimes momentum is really important to get going.
Let's talk a little bit about Cylance. You're involved as an investor in the company. What did you see in this company that piqued your interest so much?
Yeah, so Cylance is I have a bunch of fantastic companies and a few in AI. SIF Science would be in online fraud, Darktrace on network anomalies, but the one that I'm closest to and I work really closely with is Cylance. And that really is AI for cybersecurity, focused initially on the endpoint. And they really have a disruptive approach. And the idea is signatures just don't work anymore. So this kind of legacy antivirus systems, a lot of stuff still gets through. And so we saw at OPM, for example, and Cylance was involved in helping find the advanced persistent threat and in the recovery. So it's a great example of a different approach using AI and machine learning to actually understand the file and prevent malware from executing in the first place.
You know, one of the things I've discovered that companies that are most successful selling to government are those companies that are dedicated to the government client, because it truly is a different kind of client, right? They have different needs, different acquisition. Tell us a little bit about Cylance's team going into the government market.
Yeah, it's a really great team, and it's the CEO is Stu McClure, Malcolm Harkins, the CTO or the chief trust officer, is fantastic. Here in DC, they're led by Chris Zimmerman, and what's really fantastic is they understand the needs, the complexity of the federal government, and they are cloud-based and have FedRAMP certification. I think they're the only portfolio company that's all the way through the FedRAMP process, but also can be on-prem as well, too.
Yeah.
And so they understand the complexities of federal government.
Great, great. Well, we certainly, again, appreciate the support Cylance has given us tonight. It's because of their generosity and the other companies that were able to host this. So, Nick, thank you very much.
Yeah, this is great. I'm really looking forward to the next panel here.
Great. Thank you.